Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another edition of your Scottish podcast with Wristlocks and Lawn Talks. You've got myself, as usual, Craig, your host with the most. That's the first time I've ever said that. I've never said that again.
I wouldn't say the most, because mate, you never ever say that.
I'm never
right?
going to say that again. My trusty co-host,
Christ.
Aaron, how are you?
Yeah, very good, mate. Just busy as hell. I am hating work again this week, but let's just not go with that. It's fine.
You're only 2 days into work this week. How could you hate that?
Only 2 days. In the last 2 days, mate, I have not sat down to actually get something to eat until 2 o'clock. Just because how mental it's been. Oh, fuck off you with your violin, right? Anyway,
right.
We're not here about me. We're here about our guest this evening. So take it away, my friend.
So our guest tonight has been wrestling in the business since 2023. He has wrestled for companies such as Respect Pro Wrestling, Combat League Wrestling, Clan Wrestling, Source Wrestling, Bop Wrestling, Blockbuster Pro Wrestling, Target Wrestling, True Grit Wrestling, TNT Wrestling, Insane Championship Wrestling. He's won an only title, but he deserves well more, and that was the Scottish Junior Heavyweight title, and he really deserves more titles, so he will be getting them in the future. It is the one, the only, the Sawn-off Bruiser Fraser Girvan. Fraser, how are you?
I'm good. Hello. Glad to be here. Glad to be talking.
Good. I'm glad to have you on. I know we spoke a few times in person at a couple of shows, and I'm glad that we've arranged to get you on. These didn't happen, but that's in the past. We've got you on, so that's all that matters.
I'm here now.
So, we're going to throw some questions at you. So some are going to be some random questions that we break the ice with. And then we'll go into about your career, and then we'll finish with some random questions again.
Sounds good.
The first question is, Starbucks or Costa?
Costa.
Right, that's it. Podcast done.
I actually have a reason for that. The Source Wrestling School, before it shut, obviously, there was a Costa right next to it, and I would always turn up early for training, and that Costa is where I sat, so I've got a wee soft spot in my heart for Costa over Starbucks, but that's just me.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Chinese or Indian?
Chinese, 100%.
My man.
Okay, right. What's your go-to Chinese meal?
I don't have one.
Fair enough.
I am too indecisive to have one set meal.
I like that because I'm exactly the same. I always go to the Chinese or the Indian if I'm going, and I change every time. Munchie box is where I go if I'm going for an Indian, 100%, or it's a kebab.
So not Indian food.
Everything on it.
No, not
Indian.
My other half has come in that you said before we even came on, and she's put Starbucks all the way.
Oh.
That's because we love the Frappuccinos from Starbucks.
Yeah, you do love the Frappuccinos, but one doesn't take coffee. Mind you, neither does a wee man. He hates coffee, so I can't slack. I can't remember what it is when we go to shows or it's further field like Manchester. What it is he gets when we go in the car. I actually can't remember, but he does not like coffee.
It's not like hot chocolate.
No, mate. He started branching out from that, so it might be different when we go to FTO this year, mate. We'll see.
We'll see. Do you like a deep fried Mars bar?
Take it or leave it.
Yeah. Doner kebab.
Doner kebab?
Yeah.
Yes.
With or without salad and sauce?
Pretty much right now.
Yes, with salad and sauce, or has that got to be separate?
Salad and sauce separate every single time.
Fair enough.
Now, the last one we're going to say before we get into your career, what's your Tesco meal deal?
I don't actually know. No, talk shite, I do. Sushi is my main. A Phil hazelnut whip bar, the protein bar, not for health reasons, for taste reasons, and San Pellegrino sparkling water.
Nice.
Ooh.
I like the cans of juice from them, actually. I like the lemon ones, like from San Pellegrino.
Too much flavour, just water.
Fair enough.
Right, before
At least he's honest, mate. At least he's honest. You know what I mean?
That is
Like,
very true.
I've been drinking loads of water recently just because of the heat up here, and I don't know about you, Craig, but I'm glad that it's absolutely pissing with feckin' rain because we do need it, honestly.
Me too. Now, before we do go any further, a lot of people, when they watch, either if they watch it back or they're watching it live, will see that you are supporting the new merch.
Yes. Yes, I am.
I love it, mate. I absolutely love it.
I'm going to say I'm supporting the older one.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about.
So we're
Whereas I'm supporting AJ Styles and like, you know.
Yeah.
Me, AJ Styles, you know, basically the same wrestler.
True. My other half has also come in again and said, "Posh or what? Ha ha ha."
I'm not posh. I don't really like a lot of. I know I'm drinking a can of Coke just now, but I like water.
Technically not, it's Coke Zero, is it not?
Yes, you would be
So
right.
there you go. Sorry. Not that I'm being sorry, dude. I'm not trying to be, you know, considering we're sponsored by Coke, Haribo, and Craig's Lemonade this evening. There we go.
Normally, I have a bit of random food next to me that I'm munching away through a podcast. I don't have it this week, and I normally go, "We are sponsored by this," as a laugh, and Anna's this week.
No, because you didn't have it. I've not opened them, so that's why I thought, fuck it, we'll get it in there.
For sure. Right, so let's get started about your career. So, what got you into wrestling, and what made you want to become the wrestler that you are today?
To get into wrestling in the first place, it was fun enough. It was SmackDown versus Raw 2008. That was the game. Me and Lewis, growing up, never really liked wrestling. Never really had an interest in it. Our mum at the time worked in Blockbuster, and we rented that through that. And it was playing that together again. Like, we'd done everything together back then, and it was the new thing that both of us liked, and it just kind of steamrolled from there. Like, it was that, and then we found out there was wrestling on the telly, and then we found out that there was free wrestling on the telly. We found out about all the history, and there was all the, obviously, Mum working in Blockbuster, we started renting all the old DVDs of like WrestleManias, like ECW, stuff like that. And it was finding stuff like TNA as well, because that was free at the time. And then eventually it took Lewis looking up Scottish wrestling, because I think he might have seen an advert in the paper. I would have to ask him, but it was along the lines of, saw that Scottish wrestling existed, looked up a school, started going to the school, and then it was kind of just from there. That took a lot longer to actually like stick at it, but it was a constant in my life, and I knew I always wanted to be a wrestler at some point. I just had to get to that stage. Long story short, that's all. It all goes back to SmackDown versus Raw 2008.
Fair. Yeah, I remember Lewis saying something along the lines of, "I'm sure he's seen something in a bit of paper," and then he was looking it up, and we went from there. Um, obviously, it took you. Obviously, you said you've always wanted to become a wrestler. It just took you a little bit longer to do it. But when you were watching your brother do it, was there not a wee bit of saying, like, making you want to do it a little bit earlier than you did at all, or?
So, well, this is the thing. I did try my hand at it a few times, but I tried it first when I was like 11 years old, and I felt I was too young. I couldn't keep up with like the training, so I left. Tried again when I was 16. Then I was in a roller coaster crash, so that was a whole thing. So I had to stop training, and I was out of the game for like a full summer. Tried it again when I was 19. Didn't really want to stick at it, and wasn't until I was about 22 that I went, no, if I'm gonna ever do it, I need to do it now. And then I stuck at it, and here I am.
Well, fair enough at all. It's good to see that you've stuck at it now after like the 3-4 attempts you've had.
Yeah.
So it's
Definitely.
No, it's like that. It doesn't, whether it be in wrestling or football or whatever, something happens, but you've got the itch for it, and it shows that you clearly you had the like what happened with the coaster crash, but you've still then went back at it, and you look at what you're doing now, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. I look at like what I'm doing now, And there is a wee bit of me that goes, if I just stuck at it one of the other times, think how much further along I'd be or where I'd be. But that's hindsight's always 2020. You can always look back and think, oh, what could have been. But I'm glad that I finally stuck at it, and I think I've done pretty well, all things considered.
Yeah,
Nice.
definitely, and I'm so glad you did, because like I've seen you a couple of times, and when I've seen you, you've progressed, and even I watch ICW every
Yeah.
month when it's on. Like, yeah, I don't maybe catch it live, but I'll watch it back. Um, but every time I watch you, I'm seeing you progress. You're doing so much better.
I appreciate it.
But yeah, and I think that, well, we'll talk about it soon. But when you did do the retirement part, I'm not gonna lie, but I believed you.
I'm glad you did. So did
Um,
everyone, to be fair.
I,
You
I
weren't
was going to say,
alone.
I'm sure everyone did, because a lot of people say, "Oh, Fraser's really retired. Fraser's retired," and then the next minute, I've seen a clip of it, and I was like, "Ha, fuck you, bitches!" I'm like, wait, what?
We didn't actually speak about this, mate, like when it happened, right? And we were like, oh,
Yeah,
right, he's done. And then when we watched, because we watched it back and then they came out and we were on the phone, I was like, mate, where the fuck did that come from? I mean, so the fact that, like the same with sort of like when Mark Henry said he was going to retire and he fucked everyone over, like what he did in WWE, and I thought, that is class. And I'm thinking to myself, didn't expect it because you said you were retired, but it's great to see that you're not, because we get to see you when we can, even if we watch it ICW back because of time difference or whenever it's on because of us and work. But just being able to watch that platform and seeing you progressing on there, it's just, and even wherever else you are, just if we could get snippets of it, it's great to see that you've decided, I don't want to be retired. I want to be back doing what I actually physically love, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, definitely.
yeah. So let's touch on when you had your first match. So your first match was, now bear with me if anything, if this is wrong, it's not me, it's cage match.
That's fine.
His match is always fucking wrong, though, mate. They always are.
I know. I've got it here. Your first match was the 17th of June 2023. It was Source Wrestling, the final chapter, and you went up against your brother, Lewis, in your very first match. So, how
Yeah.
did it feel finding out you had your match on that show? And with it being your first match, obviously, then you would be a little bit nervous. The nerves were kicking on the day. But did you have a lot of your friends and family there to witness your first match?
So as far as finding out about it, it was one of those. I'd been training at that point for, I think, about a year and a half. I might be getting my timing mixed up, but like I'd been getting told for about half a year, "You're ready," but I didn't think I was ready, and it took the closing of the school, and basically it was my brother saying to me, he goes, "Do this one because then it means you're the last person to graduate from Source," which, if you go back in the lineage of everyone who's came out of Source or every iteration of Source, it's a pretty big alumni. You know what I mean? You've got your Coffees, you've got people like Joe Hendry, Lewis. You know what I mean? Viper, Kaylee Ray started at Source. Well, not Source. It would have been another iteration of it. Isla Dawn. So to be able to be a part of that and be the last one to leave, I understood there was. I might not have felt ready, but I knew I had to do it. There's more at stake than just how I felt. And yeah, I was nervous. I was very nervous because it felt. I'm not really, like when I was younger. I didn't really perform. I didn't do a lot of things that a lot of other wrestlers have done. Stuff like theatre. I didn't play football. Didn't play any real sports when I was younger. So it was the first time I'd properly been like in front of a paying audience to do something. You know what I mean? Fortunately, I had about 50 friends and family at the show who were all there just to see me and also to see Lewis. So that helped settle things because like I knew everyone and most people in the crowd. And of course, I was in with Lewis, who's, of course, there's a bit of bias here, but in my opinion, one of the best to do it. And with how much we know each other, being brothers, it made it 10 times easier. But no, it was the first time walking out through the curtain was I finally understood it. I'd seen Lewis do it so many times, and now I finally got it myself. That I got like why people get the bug and why people get the itch to do it all the time. It was fantastic. I never looked back.
Fair. Now I know that some of your career is tagging with your brother. And I spoke to you, I spoke to Lewis, and when we've met, seen you in person, that where we're going to get you on together further down a wee bit soon, maybe in the next couple of months, or maybe starting this year or whatever, and get you on and talk about you as a tag team. So a lot of the stuff that we're going to cover tonight, I'm going to cover just on your singles ones, or who if you've tagged with someone totally different. I want to try and touch on a lot of your tagging with Lewis when I bring us both on.
That's fine by me.
So yeah, you went up against. You actually won. Not many people win their first match, but when that happened, how did it feel? Like obviously you said you got the bug for it, but how did it feel when the match was finished? You won, and like just the emotions after it.
I was pretty emotional. It was like I say, I'd tried my hand at wrestling so many times. It'd been such a constant in my life. I always told myself I was going to be a wrestler. I just didn't know when. So when the bell rang, I was done. I'd had my first match. It was that real. It was the kind of crashing feeling of I've done it. I've got over the first hurdle at least. I felt like a nice like culmination moment. It was very cathartic in that sense. And of course, it was like I say, all my friends and family cheering for me. Me and my brother sharing the ring. Like there was a lot of emotions at play that day. But it was amazing.
Good. And it's good to see that it was against your brother to help you for the first time as well.
Definitely.
So the next match we're going to talk about is the 10th of November. It was for Bop Live in Paisley. It was the Scottish X title,
Yes.
which I'm guessing that is now the Scottish Junior Heavyweight.
That was originally the Scottish Junior Heavyweight. It got called the Scottish X title, but it says Junior Heavyweight on the plate, so that's what I'm going to call it.
Yeah. You went up against Shotgun Kieran Kelly, who was the champion at that point, and you beat him. So there's only 5 months into your career as a wrestler, and you've already won your first title.
I think it was my 5th match as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So finding out you were going to win that title, how much time did you have to when you found out you were going to win the title? Was it during the match? Was that before it? But also, what was it like knowing that, like when you won it, like that's your first title? You've only been in the business for so long as well. What was that like?
It was an odd thing. I only got told the day of, and it was a strange experience. And I know how much belts mean in wrestling, what they represent. So to know that at such an early stage I was being trusted with something like that. Admittedly, I'll say this: I lost it 5 minutes later. I need to stress, but it was still a very cool moment. That was another show. It's in Paisley, which is near it. For all intents and purposes, is as close as I'm going to get to my house to wrestle. Except for the Brayhead Arena, but that's a whole other thing. At the time, it was as close to home as I thought I was going to get the chance to wrestle. So doing it in front of, there was quite a bit of my friends and family there as well. It was again one of those experiences where it was just kind of, I'm actually doing this, and like it's not just this like carry on thing that like it's the weird thing that I do. I was doing it in a big venue, doing something pretty cool. So it was great, yeah.
Good. And against someone that's like Shotgun Kieran Kelly, when you won it, that must have been a good thing as well, because at that time, and he still is, like, he is still a really good wrestler. Yeah, he maybe doesn't do it as much as he used to do, but he's still outstanding. So it must have been a privilege as well to have that match with him.
Yeah, definitely.
I wasn't going to touch on it, but since you've touched on it, you did lose the title 5 minutes later.
Yes.
And you did lose it to Darren J. Blair. Now, Darren, we've got to see a few times. and he is an outstanding talent himself. He's such a young age, and he just progresses and progresses and progresses. What was it like for you losing the title to Darren J. Blair?
It was Darren. So I talked about how I'd started training when I was about 19, and then I left it. Me and Darren were actually in the same intake at Source, so I've known Darren since he started. And it was because we were in the same intake, and then I stepped away, but he kept going. I always kept tabs with him, and I always kept up to date with what he was doing. So he was a guy that when I first started, I was really looking forward to getting the chance to wrestle. And at the time, I might have been, the big baddie who was annoyed that I was losing my belt, but in reality, I was happy for someone who I'd started with and seen done so well, and it was nice to have that moment with him.
Good. No, it's good to hear, and it's good to see as well that obviously even though you stepped away, you still kept tabs on him. So it's good to see that you were still keeping yourself with what was going on with the intake that you were in. The next match is your first match at ICW.
Yes.
It was the GPWA Square Go tournament. The ICW, the Final Fight Club. You went up against Austin Brooks. Again, it's still a talent that's coming through the ranks himself. He's currently got himself in with Lana Austin, which I feel really sorry for.
Which one?
Austin, definitely Austin. Now, if Lana ever does see this, and I'm sure she'll probably be at next year's FTLO, I would not be surprised if she hits me.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either.
I know she said she was going to be because I remember she alluded to when the wee man beat her at arm wrestling, remember, from
right,
Instant stuff. So everybody's got to come and beat the wee man at arm wrestling at FTLO next year.
Yeah, I
Which is
remember
quite
that.
funny. This is quite funny. All through to Tony's interaction and doing the photos and stuff, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. So it is Austin Brooks I feel sorry for. So as much as I love Lana, she's such a great person to speak to in that. Yeah, I feel sorry for Austin. But what was it like? You went up against Austin, and like I've said, he's progressing the business. He's doing so well. But I'm guessing this was to progress in the tournament. It doesn't really
Yes,
say.
it was to progress to the finals, which took place at the Square Go the next year.
Ah, yeah, that makes more sense. What was it like progressing to the final? Like when you found out you were going to be the one that was going to get to progress to the final, with that being your first match in ICW as well. What was that like for you?
So that was real. That was again like you're pinpointing some pretty big moments as far as my career's been concerned. For me, ICW is obviously it is the top promotion in Scotland. It has been for so long, and admittedly, like watching through Lewis, but I was a massive ICW fan. Growing up, essentially, I couldn't go to shows. I watched through um, the many iterations of their streaming services and whatever I could find on YouTube and stuff like that. So I, when I first got into it, when I first started, ICW felt like a million miles away. When Source shut down, we then joined the GPWA, which is where I still train to this day. And through that, it felt like, oh, maybe I'm a wee step closer, but I knew that I in my head, with how early on I was still a million miles away. So when I got told I was going to wrestle for ICW, I had it at the time pretty well, but I couldn't believe it. And then when I saw a match graphic with like my face next to the ICW logo, that was insane. Pardon the pun to me. Um, and then of course I then beat Austin, who again was someone who I through loose coaching at Source, I kept tabs on everything that happened. Who trained there, who came from there. He was another guy who came through the Source training school. So getting to do it with him, that was cool in itself. And of course, like you say, it then led to me being on the Square Go, the actual show. and that was in the garage, which was a whole like I love the Asylum. People had mixed opinions on it, but I did because it's where I had my first match in ICW. It's where I trained for so long. It does hold a special place in my heart, but I do also understand that the garage is the real home of ICW, and that's right. As far as Scottish wrestlers are concerned, wrestling the garage is like a big tick against your name.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So when I found out that I was going to get to wrestle at the garage, and that was its own thing, because originally our match was going to be the pre-show, and then I got bumped up to the main card, and then winning that and being in the actual Square Go Rumble, I was, as far as I was concerned, I was made at that point.
Fair. Now, before we do go to the Rumble, because it is coming up very soon, you had another match on ICW. Now, we're now into 2024. I always say it like that. 2020, yeah, 2024. We'll just go.
24, dude.
Um,
It's 2025
I
right
know
now.
it's 2025 right now, but it's the way I say it. It sounds really funny. So the 14th of January 2024, you had your ICW again for ICW. It was ICW Double Down. You went up against Stevie James. What was it like going up against Stevie James? Obviously, he's someone that's been in that wrestling ring for a while as well. With it being an year in the business now. But was it like going up against someone like that to test how you can cope as well?
So I found out about that match when everyone else did. I saw the match graphic go up, and I remember it was like the over the Christmas break. I woke up late because I was, I was off, and I was up for maybe 10 minutes, and I got a notification that ICW tagged me in a post, and I went, "Oh, that's strange," and I checked, and there it was. At the time, Stevie was the Zero G champion, and it was in the lead up to the Lewis wrestling Stevie at Square Go, and I couldn't believe it. I almost hit the roof, because not only it was one thing wrestling for ICW, and then I knew I was going to be in that tournament, but having the chance to wrestle a mainstay of ICW, one of the current champions, um, and a guy who, like, Stevie and Lewis obviously have their own history. They wrestled a bunch when Lewis was in the Kings of Catch and when Stevie James was in the Purge. So it was a guy that I'd seen a lot of and I'd been a fan of. So getting the chance to share the ring with him was fucking fantastic. You know what I mean? And not one to blow my own horn, but I thought the match was pretty good. I think Stevie James is, and for my money, one of the most underrated wrestlers in Scottish or UK or European or whatever you want to say history. I I don't think it's really appreciated just how good Stevie really is, and I don't know. Maybe it's one of those you need to step in the ring with him to realize it. But I know countless guys who share this opinion of Stevie. Stevie brings the best out uh, of a lot of the guys. He's got a great mind for wrestling. He is very talented himself. And I think it shows in his work.
Yeah, definitely. I've seen him a couple of times myself. And even that, like, even see him interacting with the fans after it, even though when he's meant to be a heel, he still interacts with the fans. He's still getting photos, like he's letting people hold the title, getting the photos where normally like a heel kind of person would be like, no, I hold the title only kind of thing. And to see him go, do you want to hold the title? I remember I got a photo with him once. He was like, do you want to hold the title? I was like, yes. And that was it was the Zero G title. I was like, of course. So I was like, I was holding it as I was like, just seeing that and the interaction from him was amazing as well. So it's good to see. Now, the next match that I'm going to talk about, you had two matches in one day. It was the 27th of January. It was CLW War Games Rumble. I'm going to throw three names at you. No, I'm not. I'm going to throw four names at you.
Yes.
That you were in a rumble, you were in a War Games Rumble with, about what it was like wrestling them. That's Luke Matthews, Glenn Dunbar, Colton Davis, and Brody Adler.
So, I need to talk about Combat League Wrestling. They were the first promotion not attached to whatever school I was training at or shows that I was helping out at. They gave me the chance, like an outside promotion, if you will. And I'll get to the matches from that night. I've wrestled for Combat League a bunch, but I truly love wrestling for Combat League. It's a 6-hour drive away in Thurso. But the 6 hours flies in because I'm just the entire journey buzzing to go. It's always such a good laugh. There's a great atmosphere backstage. They have rabid fans that are. I need to stress Thurso, 6 hours away. There is nothing around about Thurso. So with it being like the only kind of, it's the only wrestling show up from. I would have to actually check, but for like 3 hours each direction, I think it's the only wrestling show that especially runs on such a consistent basis, and the fans act like it. You know what I mean? It's like the first time I've ever seen wrestling, and I don't mean that as an insult. I just mean as in they react accordingly. But as far as the names you've mentioned, I wrestled with all of them that night, but I've then went on to wrestle them since in Combat League. And again, those are all people who came from Source. I think I've had great matches with all of them. Colton Davis, I've wrestled. There's other people I've wrestled more, but like I have spent time with Colton Davis probably more than anyone else in wrestling between Combat League training and shows. But no, I've had a lot of fun in Thurso.
No, it's good to hear. The names I put obviously like Glenn Dunbar, legend in the business. He's been in the business for so long.
Definitely.
Colton Davis, we've seen numerous times. A great person. He's such down to an earth person. Like every time I see him, like my other half wouldn't even go stand next to him because of how tall he is.
It's like you look up to him, it's like, holy fucking crap.
I actually tried to persuade her to go next to him just so I can take a photo of it, so because it would look like little and large.
Well, that's what me and Colton tagging at clan wrestling. That's what that was like. Because I'm not going to kid on. I'm a giant. I'm on the shorter side. So when we stand next to each other, it's laughable how short I am in comparison.
Uh, But yeah, he's so down to earth. He's such a great guy to speak to. And Gary just progresses and progresses and progresses. And having him under the like and doing this thing with Kenny Williams, I think will help excel him even further.
Definitely.
Luke Matthews is doing what he needs to do in the business. He's just progressing as he goes. And Brody Adler, she's getting her name out there. She's in numerous different companies. She's been champion in numerous different companies. So, and she's just progressing and progressing as she goes on as well.
Well, yeah, with Glenn Bar in particular, I've known him, like I say, like you said, sorry, about him being a legend in Scottish wrestling. I've known Glenn Bar since I was 8 years old when my brother started wrestling because he was at the school, the iteration of Source. It was Area 52 at the time. So I've known Glenn Bar a long time. I talk about how I trained a bunch of times. Other than Lewis, he was the other coach that was always there. So getting to share the ring with him was really cool because it was a nice kind of full circle moment. He was my brother's first ever match as well. So getting the like I say, the kind of full circle thing of getting to wrestle someone that I'd seen for so long. Brody Adler is another one who, and like Luke Matthews, both came from Source. Two people who, with these trips to Thurso, and through other interactions, I've gotten to know quite well. I'm very happy to see both of them getting very busy all over the country with between like Valor, Fair City, W3L promotions like that. They seem to grassroots as well. they seem to really be finding their footing. Because I feel like when Source closed, there was a lot of people who, if they didn't come at GPWA, not so much that they were like lost or anything like that. It was just they kind of had to find their footing again with a promotion. So to see them do that, not only with one promotion but many, is really nice to see.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you, and it's great to see. Talking on Colton Davis, you were in the final against Colton for the GPWA Square Go Entrance Tournament final, where you beat Colton. So obviously you've knew Colton for a long time. You say you've like what he's one of your friend, like good friends in the business and stuff like that. But what was it like having the final against him? But also what was it for the honour of being able to but you win over him when he's such an upcoming talent, just like you are as well.
For me, I get imposter syndrome quite bad at times. I feel sometimes that it can't, like, for that particular example, I was like, it's cool that I'm getting to do this, but I won't be in the square go, or I won't win the first match, or you know what I mean. I won't wrestle for ISW, but I did all of these things. And like you say, getting to share that moment with one of my best friends it was surreal. It was great, but I couldn't believe it was happening. We both said it because for both of us it was the first time wrestling the garage. It was the first time being on a show that level for both of us. Um, so it might have been bittersweet for him, but it was definitely a very cool moment. I think for both of us getting to be in there with each other.
Yeah, no, and it's class to see as well. Now, the Rumble match, the Square Go Rumble that you were part of, obviously it's the 30-man Square Go, but there's a lot of names in this that I'm just going to fire off all the names that are shown in this, um, and there's a couple in particular that I'm going to keep to the end, and we're going to we could be talking about them. So you had Zero, Wee Man, Theodoros, Shreddy, the referee Sean McLaughlin, Ryan Richards, Rory Coyle, Rob Drake, which is the partner of Lana Austin, Rampage Brim, Moxie Malone, Luke Cairo, uh, your Lewis was in it, Lee McRae, Landon Riley, Jason Reed, Jake Lawless, Green Man, Eddie Castle, Denise, Craig Anthony, Clint Manjera, Broad Turnbull, Aaron Echo, Kenny Williams. A couple of names I've not said because I want to quickly go over them. So the first one I never said there was Lizzie Evo. Now Lizzie is doing absolutely amazing. She is one of the best women in England, I would say, this day. Just with everything she's doing and how she's progressing herself. Even when she comes up to ICW,
Mm-hmm.
she does so well. But what was it like having like? I know you might not have got to wrestle a lot of these people, but also just around at that point, like for like to either give you motivation or encouragement or stuff like that. What was it like having like Lizzie there?
So that square go in particular, I was only in it from one entrant to the next. The only person I shared the ring with was Kenny Williams, which was in itself very cool. But you listed all those names there. I think this could be a pretty umbrella answer as far as anyone who was involved in the match is. I love the square go because it's such a advertisement for British wrestling. You never know who's going to be in it. You never know who might come back, who might be a surprise entrant. But like you named Lizzie Evo, Rampage Brown, Rory Coyle, um, Clint Margera, all these people from like down south who aren't always there at ISW, but when they are, it's such a nice surprise. And knowing that I was in the same match as all these people, I keep using this word because I think it's the best one to describe any of this. Is it was surreal because these are people who like I would only ever see through my phone or on TV or whatever. So getting to be in not maybe the ring, but in the same conversation as them. That was pretty cool.
And even that, there's some people that are never named there. You've got the likes of Lizzie, like you said, Krieger, Shay Monet, Angel Hayes, Andy Roberts, like all big names in this business. Like Krieger moving to Canada.
Yeah.
We had Krieger on what, a week, 2 weeks ago, Aaron, and it was great just to catch up with him. Krieger is one of the guys that I keep up to date with regularly. Like I'll keep an eye on his social media. I'll message him like to just chat away to him, make sure see how he's getting on and stuff like that. Like the Shay Monet, he's doing so well for himself, like especially down in England as well. Going away abroad and stuff like that. Like Shay Monet's doing so well. Same with Angel Hayes, like she's doing absolutely amazing. She's probably the best woman in Scotland wrestling today.
100%.
Andy Roberts, ex WWE UK, like he's been there. He's been in business a lot. He's got his own wrestling school. He's doing so well for himself. Having even just them names in there is something that would be surreal for you. See, I used your word.
Definitely, like you listed the names there. Krieger killing it all over the world. Shay Monet killing it all over the world. Angel Hayes killing it all over the world. Like, there's a theme here. You know what I mean? That's what I'm talking about with the Square Go. It's such a melting pot for so many people who are like mainstays as far as not even. And at this stage, it's not just British wrestling; it's the world.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
No, I totally agree. GPWA £5 wrestling on the 9th of March, 24. You went up against Zero in a singles match. Zero is someone that I've seen a couple of times. I would like to see more of. I think he does really well. I think his wrestling style is a good thing to watch. And he does it so well. What was it like going up against Zero?
Terrifying. Have you seen him? Yeah, no, it was. Zero was a scary guy. It is quite daunting. But again, like I said before, another guy from Source. Another guy I was always kind of aware of. Pretty cool getting to be there and be in there with him. And of course, it's £5 wrestling, which is, for all intents and purposes, it's the student showcase of the school for GPWA, which are some of the most fun shows you get the chance to do. Because it's one thing when it's wrestling fans and it's specifically people who are like interested in the characters, but with £5 wrestling, a lot of the time it will be friends and family, stuff like that. So there's a good chance there's people who have never seen you before.
Mm-hmm.
There's a definite chance there's people who've never seen you before. So it's a chance to wrestle in front of audiences who don't really watch wrestling. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I totally get that. And it's good. It's good to be able to do that as well. Like, not many people do like a wee showcase show to help like their trainees come through, give them a wee bit of experience of what it's like being in front of a crowd, wrestling. Like a lot of people have their like where their students will be like, they'll be there for like security.
Yeah.
Not often you see like a showcase show, which is something that I think's a good wee thing that a lot more companies should maybe do.
Definitely.
Again, talking about the GPWA £5 wrestling, on the 4th of May, you went up against, is it Venus?
Yes.
Like, I've seen that there. I've seen Venus, and it's scary.
She is.
She is
Yeah.
scary. I'm like, I've seen her. I've not seen her in person, but I've seen her on video, and I'm like, it's just when she came out, I went, I'm not messing with her.
Yeah.
I sat and watched. I'm like, I wouldn't mess with her if I was at a show. No, I'm not joking. I start the chants. Me and Anna start the chants. We start the heckles and stuff like that. We get a lot of wrestlers who really like that, and like, because they can bounce off us. A lot of them is we're friends that we've got to know over time as well. It helps them a lot, so they'll come back and forth with us. But yeah, that's some person that I would just sit there and I would just be like, yeah, you just carry on. What was it like wrestling her?
Again, same as Zero. Very, very daunting. Very scary.
Yeah, that does not surprise me. We'll quickly move on to the next one. You had a blockbuster wrestling match. So this was on the 18th of May. You went up against Aaron Echo. Now, Aaron Echo is someone that's doing so well in the business as well. A lot of the guys you do go up against, I see a lot of them, all of them are doing so well for themselves. But what was it like for Aaron Echo?
That was another one, a guy that I'd seen a bunch in growing up watching ICW, watching Scottish wrestling. At the time, former ICW world champion. So getting to wrestle him, that was a last minute replacement. Actually, I wasn't originally meant to be on the show at all, but somebody pulled out. I filled in. So it was kind of, I only found out the day before, and it was that I just kind of had to deal with it. You know what I mean? Not in a bad way. Like, I was happy to do it, but I never really got the chance to mull it over how cool it was that I was getting to wrestling.
No, I get that. And it's something that I think I don't think I've seen Aaron Echo live. But someone I would love to see live. Or if I have,
Very
it's maybe
nice.
like once or twice. Um, so yeah, it's someone that I would love to see live more off. Like I would love to go see live. But go back to ICW. The only way is up. The only way is up.
It's up,
Um,
baby.
yeah. Every time I see that name, that song comes straight into my head. 19th of May, so the next night after Blockbuster, you had a singles match against Lee McRae. Now Lee is doing so well with stuff with Victory Incorporated. Um, I he's doing so well with the heel, being the heel side, and all that. But what was it like going up against Lee McRae?
Lee McRae, another guy from GPWA, that when I came in, as far as students were concerned, it was him and Landon Riley. They were the top guys. So getting to kind of test myself against that was a lot of fun. Yeah, fortunately I lost, but these things happen.
Yeah, I wasn't going to mention that. See, I was nice. I wasn't going to mention it. We've already spoken about Brody Adler, but you did go up against Brody Adler for CLW Reloaded. You did win by count out. But obviously, you've already alluded of like you love going and wrestling at CLW. But what was it? Was there a reason? We're going to go into a wee bit of a difference here, but was there a reason why this was finished by a count out and not like a pin or that?
So I was out of the game. I didn't see what was going on, but there was a interference, if you will, that led to Brody Adler being counted out, and I got my hand raised. I still count that as a win in my book.
Well, it's still technically as a win.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, do we get to find out who that interference was from, or do you still not know?
I do know. It was. I'd be lying if I told you right now. But I know it had something to do with the Harbinger, who is Thursday's answer to the Undertaker, essentially.
Fair?
Big lad, big scary goth, who took Brody Adler out the game.
Fair. That's all that needs to be said. You 20th of July, 2024. You True Grit Wrestling, but this was the True Grit Games. You went up against Shamony. What was it like having a singles match with Shamony with how well he's doing in the business?
Well, it was at the time. It was. It felt great because it was like a combination of things. It was, and I need to thank Shamony for this. He had vouched for me for this promotion down south. It was my first time getting to wrestle down south for True Grit, who I'll get into this in a bit. I was meant to wrestle for again, but unfortunately, injury took me out, so I couldn't. But Shaman A was the one who put me forward. A very good friend of mine, and we managed. I thought to have one of my favourite matches. I'm sure Shay would say the same thing. But it was a great experience because it was getting to wrestle in front of a totally different crowd for a promotion down south. And it was a different experience because it was a locker room full of people who had never been in a locker room with, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
There was it was like people from America were there, obviously people from all corners of England were there. There's a few of us from Scotland there, so that was a lot of fun.
Good. And it's good to obviously see like Shane vouch for you to get you in there as well. Like that's
Yeah,
it's good
definitely.
when other wrestlers do that to help other people out.
So,
The next one I'm going to go on is the Shane Mooney coming out, which I was hoping to get to, but I didn't make it. And I think it's such a great thing that he did for this that night.
Yeah.
So this was the Queer Crim Rumble. So there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 people in it. I should have really counted that before I got into it, but yeah, there was 9 people in it. I'm going to name people, everyone that was in it, and there is a couple of people that I do want to touch on. So there was Zachary Swift, there was Tommy Lockhart, Martin McAllister, Luca Romeo, Hardman Dan, Dylan Thorne, Denise, Danny Kate, and yourself. And you did get the pleasure of winning this Rumble.
Yes.
But I do want to touch on pretty much half of them. Tommy Lockhart, someone that is incredible. He's coming through the business really well. I've got to see him wrestle a good few times. I love his gimmick. But what was it like having him in that? Again, I don't know who you got to go up against, who you didn't.
Didn't get to go up against everyone, but I was in it from start to finish. I've watched it back as well. But Tommy Lockhart, he's a guy that I think is he really understands the performance side of what we do. You know what I mean? He is the greatest showman. I think he's fantastic. And like you say again, another guy who's killing it up and down the country between ICW, Valor, Girders, Respect as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's a guy that I'm happy to see is doing very well for himself as well.
Yeah, no, definitely, and I really do. And even like when I've seen him after it, he's such a nice guy to speak to. We do have him agreed to the podcast. I just don't have a date with him yet.
cannot
But
wait for that podcast. Honestly,
I can't wait to get him on either.
honestly.
I
I
think
think
that'd be
I've
good.
seen him like twice, and it's like I remember Craig told me about it and told me about his gimmick. I thought, there's no way that's his gimmick in my head, right? And then see when he comes out to it with the music and everything else and that, and I'm like, I'm sitting there even before these matches started. I'm mesmerized. I'm thinking, right, okay, I can see why he is doing what he's doing, and it's only going. He himself is only going to get better with the gimmick and that as well. If you know what I mean.
Definitely.
Sorry, I had to sneeze.
You kind of figured, mate. It's just as well I interjected there, if you know what I mean.
Again, another person that's doing so well for himself is Martin McAllister.
Definitely.
I think he's doing so well for himself. Someone that I've not seen live, but I really, really want to.
Mm.
And it's someone that's on the bucket list to see live.
He's another guy I think it's great. Glad to see him doing as well as he's doing. One of the most positive people I've ever met in my life.
Nice.
And I mean that in the best way possible.
Fair enough. Dylan Thorne, again, doing so well for himself in ICW. Someone I think we've seen live once, and that was Blockbuster in Montrose. But again, it's someone I would like to see more of in person. I've seen obviously on videos and stuff like that, but Dylan Thorne's another one.
Dylan's a guy that I think's got the world at his feet. I've wrestled Dylan a bunch, and every time I've loved it. It's we match each other's intensity in a sort of way that I don't tend to find with a lot of people. Like you say, just fantastic.
excuse me. Denise, she's doing so well. She's doing so well for herself. Denise is someone that we used to see quite a lot when she first started out SWE.
Yes.
That stuff happened, and I kind of know she doesn't like to speak about. But again, she's doing so well for herself. Again, she's part of Outside Incorporated. She's doing that role really well.
Is Life Factory Incorporated?
Oh, sorry,
She gave,
did.
she gave Ryan Richards the Vicky and buggered off.
Aye, but that was like a while ago now, and I lose track of everything that's going on with ICW now. Well, she's no part of it
There you go.
Incorporated anymore. Thank you, Fraser. But she's doing so well, and like when she has her matches, I know she's out there just to have fun and a laugh, and she makes it funny. She makes it a good laugh to like a good thing to watch, and I think a lot of people actually really enjoy them.
Yeah, definitely. She's fucking mental.
Yeah.
100%.
The last person we're going to touch on in this one is Danny Kaye. Now, Danny Kaye is someone that I've got to see a good few times. I think his gimmick's really good. I love watching him. He progresses every time I see him. What was it like for you if you got to go up against Danny Kaye?
I've wrestled Danny Kaye a couple times. Another guy who I think is very good. I feel like I'd like to see more of him. You know what I mean? I know that he is getting himself out there, which is good to see. But no, every time I've wrestled him, I've thoroughly enjoyed it.
Good. Going back to Combat League Wrestling, the 31st of August 24, you went up against RJ Cash. What was that like?
RJ Cash is one of the mainstays of Combat League. So it was a lot of fun. He's now the current champion as well. One of their top guys, really. Like I say, I had a lot of fun with it. It was interesting because he is like their John Cena, essentially. So they hated me and they loved him.
Fair. Fair. But you've always been a heel as far as I'm aware, so that's no surprising.
For the most part. I've been a baddie a lot.
Just a lot. Back to £5 wrestling for GPWA. On the 13th of September 24, you went up against Leo McLean. Now, I'm not going to lie, it's someone I've never heard of before.
See?
So what was it like with going up against him, and like what is he like in the business? It's like obviously it's £5 wrestling. He was a trainee at that time, but how has he progressed if you've kept up to date?
As far as I know, right now he's taking a step back from wrestling due to personal reasons. But when he's not, he trains at GPWA at the Asylum. That was his first match at our £5 showcases. But he'd wrestled for Source before. He's wrestled for Alba, and I know he wrestles a bit down south as well for Firestar. It was another interesting one because it's a guy who came from Source. It was also the first £5 that got live streamed on YouTube. So we got all the glitz and glamour of an ICW, but getting to showcase the students. And it was on ICW's YouTube channel as well. So that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I might need to go and see if I can find that back now.
Yeah, it's just on YouTube. £5 wrestling. Look it up. You'll be able to find it. It's been a couple now. But obviously you can check with dates.
Yeah. It'll be something that I will maybe look up tonight in bed to see if I can find something. Back to ICW. Wake me up, wake me up before you go. I really need to stop thinking of songs when I hear things. You went up against Dylan Thorne. Obviously, we touched on Dylan Thorne. But what was it like having a one-on-one with him? Obviously, you've touched on how well you think he's doing. You think he's got the world at his feet. But to go up one-on-one with him, what was that like?
So that was a fun weekend. The night before, I'd wrestled for TNT, and the after staying at a hotel in Liverpool, I had to get up at 7 in the morning and journey to back to Glasgow. So I was pissed off already, and I think that was the right avenue to express how pissed off I was wrestling Dylan Thorne. That was again another one that I personally I think is one of my favourite matches I've had as far as singles matches are concerned. Hard hitting, to say the least.
Now, it's not got on here about the TNT. I've been to TNT once. I was there when they had GCW. What was that? A year, 2 years ago, something like that. But who was it you went up against at TNT, and what was it like?
TNT, it was a part of the Effie's Big Gay Brunch Weekender that they done, and I was in the. I'd be butchering the name, but it was the Rumble that was on the show, which had quite a few names in it. It had Session Moth Martina, Shay Monet was in it, Visage, Jason Joshua. There was a. I don't want to butcher who was in it because I'm now running out of names. But there was, I think it was about 20 odd people. Sadly, it did not win it. But that was again, like I said, with True Grit, it was a new promotion, new crowd, new experience, and it was a lot of fun.
Good. No, I'm glad that it was a lot of fun. Like, and it's good to see that you got the chance to wrestle there, especially for Big Effie's Big Gay Brunch, because obviously Effie's American, so he comes over for he came over for it. I know he's bringing it back again this year. Yeah, later this year. So I know he's bringing it back for that, and it's something that's good to see that he's bringing it over again. But it's good to see that you got the chance of being part of it as well.
Definitely.
Black. Oh Jesus! It's not a podcast if I don't butcher something. Back to Blockbuster Wrestling.
Yeah.
This is live at Comic Con Scotland. This was on the 5th of October. You went up against Jack Jester. Now, Jack Jester is a legend in the business.
Wow.
Definitely.
Just tell us what it was like going up against Jack.
Again, it was another one, like touched on it before. I grew up watching ICW, but even before that, I grew up watching SWA, and Jack Jester was one of the first guys I ever got the chance to see, and he stood out because, of course, he looked like Jack Jester. So it was a nice full circle moment. But beyond even that, he was at the time he was my coach, at the GPWA. Just getting the chance to go up against not only a coach but someone I'd watched since I was such a young age, it was really cool, and it was Comic Con as well. So it's one of those ones, big crowded gala that was around about like middle of the day, right when Comic Con will be its busiest. So big crowd, and of course it's Jack Jester, who everyone knows. So I was especially hated that day.
Yeah, and it's good to see that you got the chance to go up against Jack as well.
Yeah, no, it was like I say, a lot of fun.
I've seen we've seen him a couple of times now. He does like he does make it fun, and he's so great just to chat to as well. Like we've chatted to him a couple of times after shows, and he's so down to earth, and it's such a good thing.
Yeah, his contacts freak me out though. Like his contacts that he wears, and I get it why for the gimmick, but it's like even seeing him, like as Craig alludes to, speaking of Tom, chatting away, I remember we were having this. It was when we were at Blockbuster, we were chatting away to him, and it's like, oh yeah, mate, a great match, great promotion, blah blah blah. And he could clock me looking at his eyes. He says, mate, your eyes are freaking me out. It's like, yeah, no, I'm sorry, dude. It says, I get why it is. It says, but I still can't. I'm mesmerized, but it's still fucking freaking me out because we have an eye contact chatting, but I just can't physically stop like thinking, what the fuck? I wouldn't like to be in the ring with him when he's got them in if I was a wrestler anyway, if that makes sense. Not that I could wrestle for crap, but I don't think Jack is one of the guys, if I could, I would want to go up against.
No, I wouldn't go up against him either, to be fair.
No, I wouldn't either, mate, honestly.
Back to ICW, no sympathy for the devil. I've not got a song for that one. You had a hardcore match with Jake Lawless. Obviously, you've wrestled Jake Lawless numerous times. Um, I think a tag that we'll probably touch on a lot when we have you and Lewis back on.
Yeah.
But obviously, Jake Lawless is doing so well for himself as well. What was it like having a singles match with him without it being a tag match?
Obviously, like you say, wrestled Arcade Violence a lot in tag, but to exact my anger towards the both of them in a singles match without fucking Brody Turnbull having his back was rewarding, especially getting the win over them. Never beat Arcade Violence as a team, which grates at me. But to know that we at least had a ticket that night.
Yeah.
I know we're going
It's coming. It's coming.
yeah. I know we're going to touch more on it when we've got both you and Lewis on together, but do you prefer singles or tag?
I like both, but for different reasons.
Oh, nice.
Wrestling in a tag with Lewis, I feel like we've got a chemistry that's not many other people do because we're brothers.
Mhm.
That it feels like a well-oiled machine
Right, okay.
being in the ring. But as far as singles, it's because we all get into wrestling for the same reason. We've got egos,
Mhm.
and I like that we ego rubber being the guy.
Nice. I like that.
I do like that.
I do.
We go back to the square goal for this year. Now I do feel a sneeze coming on, so I don't know if it's going to happen. But there's again people that you went up against in the last one. You went up against singly, but we'll go and quickly name through people who were in this one. So again, you've got Theodore Ross, Taylor Vite was in this one, Stevie James, Simon Cassidy was in this one, Sha Samuels, Ryan Richards, Moxie Malone, Molly Spartan, Martin McAllister, Marcus King, Logan Smith, Lewis Girvan, Lee McRae, Kez Evans, Camille from
NWA.
NWA, thank you. Um, Jimmy Pierce, Jack Ripley, Jack Morris, yourself, Dylan Thorne, Denise, Daisy Jenkins, Colton Davis, Big Damo, Ben Rogers, Austin Brooks, ADM, Adam King, Aaron Echo, and the winner of the whole competition of the Rumble, Rio. Now, obviously, there's a mixture of men and women, which is good to see. But there's one person that I'm going to touch on, and that is Camille.
I figured it was going to be.
I don't know. I can't 100% remember if you did get a chance of doing anything when she was in the ring. But
Not.
what was it like just even having her? Because I know it was her. Um, what was it like having her just there in the background as well? Like, did you chat with her to get any advice?
So she'd taken the seminar the night before in the GPWA, which I got a chance to get good advice from her, obviously with the heights that she's gotten to, the places she's wrestled. But no, I think it's the same thing I said about the Square Girl from the year before, and it proves my point. It's such a mixing pot. You never know who's going to show up. You know what I mean? That was a total surprise. She wasn't announced beforehand. So to have her there, it was great.
Good. And just someone else that was there that wasn't in the match, but he was in also a singles match, was Tom Latimer. No, also Tom's been in ICW before, but obviously Camille took the seminar the day before. Was Tom at that as well? Did you get?
It was a joint seminar with both of them, and like I say, it was the same thing. It was great advice from people who have been to the heights um, of this business.
Yes, Tom's probably one that I would love to see live, and just because like as much as I see videos of him online and stuff like that, it's just someone that you think that's someone that knows what he's doing. He's doing that well, and I would love to just see him live as well. Back to £5 wrestling for GPWA. You went up against Sean Summers, What was it like going up against Sean? I know that he's been part of GPWA, Blockbuster, ICW, stuff like that, so he is starting to get himself out there more. What was it like going up against him for a trainee match?
It was a good opportunity to wrestle someone who I've seen since they started, coming up through the Asylum and through GPWA. Nice to see how the talent coming up through the school, how they match up to the people who came through the school before. It was very interesting. Again, that was another one that was on YouTube as well.
That'll be another one that I can watch back.
Correct.
You ICW Bad Habits. Bad habits lead to lateness. I see. I thought of that one. You went up against Jack Ripley. What was it like going up against Jack Ripley? Because I know, like, watching him, all he wants to do is have a laugh, and take the mic. But what was it like in the actual match for you with him?
That was another one that came from Source. Saw from the start. We've wrestled Jack Ripley outside of Arcade Violence is the guy that I've wrestled the most. So it was really interesting seeing how far he's came along from being just another wrestler to now the extreme version of himself that he is now. Thankfully, I don't know, actually, I'm lying. I did get hit with a cucumber then again. So that wasn't fun. But other than that, quite an enjoyable experience. It was my first singles match back in ICW after coming back. So, fun.
Yeah. And yeah, he's lethal with that cucumber. Clan wrestling. So you did touch on this a little bit earlier, about the Brayhead Arena. So you were in a tag match at Clan Wrestling. You tagged with Colton Davis as the Bully Brothers, and you went up against John Fleetwood. Now, this doesn't tell me who they were, but if I'm correct, was that Logan Smith and Jimmy Pierce?
It was not.
No, it wasn't. Oh, they were part of it.
No.
Oh no, that was another time where they were thinking that was ICW. I'm thinking of.
That was. No, it was Darren Blair and David Devlin, who were the two we wrestled. That was another one that it was a nice milestone because Brayhead Arena is where I first. I might be getting my dates mixed up, but I'm fairly certain it was the first place I ever saw wrestling. When WWE done a house show years ago, it's a 5-minute drive down the road from my house. You know what I mean? Like it was, and of course it's an arena show. It was the biggest show I've done yet. And getting to open the show, and like I say, with tagging with Colton Davis, one of my best friends, that was another one of those moments where we got to just stand and go, this is pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, again, I was hoping to get to that, just couldn't get to that. I've seen that they were meant to have a show on the 6th of September, but that's been put back to November. I need to work out things to see if I can try and get to that. Last I checked, I don't think I can. But I would love to get to it because I know, like the likes of Wolfgang, Matt Coffey,
Yeah.
I mean, don't. I love to, but
Joe
it's not going to
Coffey.
happen.
I would love to see them. I was hoping to get through to the last show that they were on for Andy Roberts' promotion.
Power Pro, yeah.
Power Pro Thursday just passed last Thursday, but just other stuff going on, I just couldn't get through. And it's 3 people I would love to see wrestle again live. I've seen them wrestle a few times live. I would love to see them wrestle again. I would love to meet them and just even get my photo and say, I met ex-WWE guys. So, yeah, it's just something. So, I know that you are booked on that show, the November one,
The Clan Rumble.
the Clan Rumble. See,
So make it if you can.
I will try my best.
He definitely won't. Sorry.
I will.
No, you'll
I-
try, but I definitely
Oh.
won't, mate.
It's a Sunday afternoon, I think.
Yeah, but
Yes.
depending on when it is and how close it is, mate.
Oh yeah, it's like the
Well,
30th of November.
yeah, I'm not here. I'm not in the country.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
in
you're
Paris.
in Paris.
My daughter's competing the day before that because she does cheerleading, so she's competing at Future Cheer on the 29th. So I physically won't be here.
It's unfortunate, but I'm sure you'll still have a good time doing what you're doing.
I'll have a good time doing that, but I will find a way to watch this match back. Don't you worry.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
I'm gonna try my best to try and get to it. Like,
When you said it was November, I was thinking depending on the time, and then when you went, oh, it's the 30th. I says no, I don't actually get back until the 2nd.
yeah, I forgot you were away. I'm not gonna lie.
Yes, because I need to remember you about stuff for that week when we are away with other stuff that we do.
Yeah. The next match we're going to talk about is Blockbuster Pro Wrestling live in air. You had a singles match. You went up against Landon Riley. Now, Landon Riley, I've seen videos of. I think I've seen him live once as well. He impresses me every time. He's getting so better. He's getting better and better and better every time. He's also been ICW CLG champion. And he's going to progress so much in the business. He's going to win a lot of titles, in my opinion. What was it like having a singles match against him?
He's an incredible talent, but a massive thorn in the side of me and Lewis as far as ICW is concerned. So that was a lot of fun. Being in there with someone who is as talented as he is, even if there is a wee bit of me pissed off that he beat me, but it is what it is.
Yeah, but you did get retribution the next night.
I did. You're right.
When it was back to ICW, The World Is Yours 2025, and it was the Fans Bring the Weapons match. You did get the retribution and the win that night, so that counts.
I did. And he almost died.
Fair. The next one there's only a couple left to go for your singles side of stuff. The next one is Blockbuster Wrestling again, funny that. In Paisley. You were in a fatal four-way. Oh, funnily enough, Landon Riley was in this too, with Dylan Thorne, yourself, and Lewis Girvan. Lewis got the win, but what was it like having to go up against your brother in a fatal four-way, especially against like Landon Riley, who's a thorn in your side, Dylan Thorne that you've went up against numerous times?
Funnily enough, that is wrong. I was not in that match. I managed Lewis.
Okay, we'll just ignore that.
Which is why he got the win. See what I mean about this chemistry?
Yeah.
We're good at what we do.
So
I
it's
get
a
that.
triple threat match then, if you weren't.
Yeah.
Ah, see.
And he was a
Case
manager,
match
mate.
is
So. We established this when we started, though.
Oh, I know. Let's go back to. We're now going back to Combat League Wrestling.
Yep.
This was recently. This was the 31st of May. You had 3 matches in the one night.
Yep.
You started off with a tag match, where you and Stone Malone went up against Glendon Bar and Jan Islav.
Yep.
We're going to talk about Jan Islav. What was it like going up against Jan Islav? He is someone is doing amazing. For the likes of Fair City,
Valor.
What was it like having him in that match, and what was it like planning a match with him?
Again, another guy. It's similar to what I was saying about the square going places like that. I like when it's a melting pot. I like getting to wrestle people from different areas in Scotland that I might not get to on normal shows that I'm on. A guy who I was always aware of when I first started on shows, and of course it was like getting to tag with Stone, who came from Source, who wrestles in similar circles now to Yanislav, and tagging against Glendon Bar, who, like I said before, has been a mainstay in Scottish wrestling for as long as he has. It was interesting. Felt like it was 4 corners of the scene all coming together in this tag match.
Fair. You and Stone did get the win, which made you both progress to the semi-final, and you went up against each other.
Yep.
So obviously you've said Stone Malone part of Source, but what was it like going up against Stone
Yep.
this time when he's been at Source that many years ago?
He was a guy who, when I first started, was he was the Source champion. So it was again a nice full circle moment. The match didn't last very long because we went straight into it after the tag match, and obviously I came out on top. But no, it was a lot of fun.
Good. That means you progressed to the final. In the final, it was a fatal 4-way. If Cage Match has got this part right.
Yes.
It was yourself, and you won the whole tournament against Brody Adler, Connor Rose, and Struan Fraser. What was it like when you found out that you were going to win the tournament for Combat League Wrestling?
It was cool because it's like I say, I'd wrestled for Combat League so much, and I was the hero. I was a returning hero that night, and getting to main event one of the shows for the first time was fun. And I know now I've got a unused number one contendership for the title, which I can use at any time. So keep your eyes peeled. I will be back.
And he's coming for that title.
Yeah.
Now, the last singles match that we're going to go on was the 20th of June. It was GPWA 5-pound wrestling again. And you went up against Mercury. You did get beat. But what was that like? Is that another one that's on YouTube that we could go back and watch?
I don't think it is. However, I'm sure it will be at some point. That match was really special to me because it was the last 5-pound wrestling in the asylum. We're actually no longer doing 5-pound wrestling. It's now just student showcases that are run out of the Maryhill Central Halls, where fun enough IHW started. But it was the last weekend of the asylum. It was the last ever 5-pound wrestling. It was the busiest crowd we had for a 5-pound wrestling. It was a scorcher of a day. And in hindsight, it was Mercury's last ever match. He's now last ever match for now. He's stepped away from wrestling. So getting to I'm happy to take the loss if that's now the lasting memory for Mercury.
Yeah. No, it's good, and it must be a privilege as well for you that if Mercury's taking a step back for just now, yeah, you don't know, like, you can be back, you might not be back, but it must be a privilege for you to be able to go up against someone in their last match as well.
Yeah, definitely. And again, bias might be playing a part in this, but I had a lot of fun. I thought it was a very good match.
Good. Now that is all the matches that we're going to talk about just now, because a lot of all the other matches are your tag matches with Lewis, which we'll touch on, like we said, when we get you both back on. We're just going to go back to some, again, random questions.
Sounds good.
What is your pre-show meal?
Pre-show meal is whatever I get on the way to the show. It changes all the time. Whenever I had a pre-show meal whenever I wrestled in the garage, but unfortunately Taco Mazam is shut, so now I just get whatever.
Yeah. What's your after-show meal?
McDonald's, because it's 9 times out of 10 the only place that's open.
See, that's funny. I'm sure some Lewis or someone else that we had on said this.
It's the only place that's open 24 hours, so it's the only place you can really go after the show.
Fair. We get the look at a lot of other shows when it finishes. We can still go and get like kebabs and stuff like that. So that's not too bad for us.
But that's 24 hours, mate.
Yeah.
Clark is as well.
24 hours, yeah. You've obviously said you get a McDonald's quite a lot, but do you prefer McDonald's or KFC?
McDonald's, just because I don't really eat KFC.
Fair. Who's the main person you want to wrestle in the independent scene that you've not wrestled before?
My dream match, as far as people who aren't signed to a major company, is Trent Seven. He's just a guy I've been a massive fan of for years. I've had the chance to train with him. I went over to Ireland and trained with him at OTT. I just think he's fantastic.
I like that. Who do you take inspiration from?
Not Trent Seven, funnily enough. No, I do in certain ways, but as far as like style's concerned, my favourite wrestler of all time is John Moxley. I like that kind of brawler style. So yeah, yeah, John Moxley, a guy like Terry Funk, Fit Finlay, people like that. But then of course there's like people like Samoa Joe, etc.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Last, Aaron, have you got any questions before we go into the last one?
Tonight for a change.
Eh?
I've asked quite a few tonight for a change,
I
so
Couldn't have shut you up tonight.
yeah, well,
So is that you've not got any more questions?
no, mate,
Fair
I
enough.
don't. I'll save ones that I'm going to save for when they're both on to ask them both together.
Fair. This last question, and then we'll go over some of your upcoming matches that you know of, like where people can find you on social media, stuff like that. But the last main question I've got for you is, what's 3 things you are grateful for in life right now?
3 things I'm grateful for. Wow, that's a deep question. Wrestling is a big one. I'm always grateful that I've got wrestling. What else? I'm grateful for my dog, Bailey. She's the thing that keeps me going. Oh, I'm grateful for my new merch.
It's fun.
Good, good. Right, the floor is yours. Let people know where they can find you on social media. Any upcoming matches that you like, shows you've got, and matches that you know you've got coming up, and where they can buy that lovely merch.
So, I'm on all socials as Fraser Girvan. I managed to get very lucky when I made all my social media accounts that I just got my name. I'm trying to think if there's anything that's different. No, it's just Fraser Girvan for Twitter, Instagram, and I don't use anything else. Because I can't be arsed, mainly. As far as shows coming up, there's a few things in the pipeline. As far as things that are announced, like you said before, I've got Clan Wrestling on November 30th. And I won't get into things that are unannounced, but ICW is coming back to Edinburgh. I would have to check the date because I think it's November 2nd. And if you've seen the socials, I'm on the poster for that. But other than that, I don't want to spoil the surprise of other things that are being announced quite yet. But just know I've got quite a busy year coming up, and if anyone who's listening is coming to the shows, that is where you can buy the new Girvan's merch. Got plenty of them. Don't worry, all sizes available, small to double XL. But yeah,
Be good. And I've just looked up November the 2nd is Edinburgh.
look at that. I know what I'm talking about.
It's fun.
So yeah, November the 2nd. There is also October the 5th. That's in the garage, just saying for ICW. Anyone that's wanting to get to ICW shows, that's Scary Moves, which there's a couple of matches being announced for that. Mark Coffey versus Colton Davis, Dylan Thorne versus Jason Reed, Rough Riders, which is Jack Ripley and Gene Lee versus Sanity, Big Demo and Axel Tisser. And you've also got Rio versus Theodoros for the ICW heavyweight title match, which for me, Theodoros does not deserve that. It should be the man that's on the screen with us right now.
Appreciate that.
Like I said at the start, you've won that one title, but there's many, many more to come in singles and in tag with Lewis. Hopefully, you'll get booked on a lot more shows, like companies closer, like to us as well, where we'll get to see more of you in person. We can have cats and stuff like that. But thank you so much for coming on tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure. It's been great to hear the stories. I can't wait to get you both on. Where we'll talk about your tag and everything like that. Thank you, Aaron, for coming on as usual. It's been an absolute
Very
pleasure
much.
to have you on as well.
Oh, my friend.
You are my trusty co-host.
Yep.
We are back on Tuesday. This is it 16th on Tuesday. I've lost a day already.
Tuesday is the 16th, mate. Yes.
Yay! We are back on Tuesday, the 16th at 8:30. The guest has confirmed. He did confirm today. But again, you'll see the thumbnail when it comes out. So look forward to that. But yeah, thank you, both of you, for coming on. It's been a pleasure.
Very much for having us.
Aaron, plug your show on Sunday.
So myself and John are back on Sunday evening at 8:30 speaking about WWE from this week, and potentially touching base on AAA and Worlds Collide, because that is the pay-per-view for this weekend as well. I know we don't cover that, but you'll see myself and John then, and we'll just ramble like we have this evening, like me and Craig have.
Class.
Sounds good.
It's like I prepared that earlier.
Mate, I was up here waiting. I was up here because I
knew-
figured you were going to do it.
I
so
nearly
thought
forgot.
I'll have it.
I nearly
I'll have it
forgot.
sitting waiting just in case he goes with it. You know
I
what I
literally
mean?
was a way to go, right, thank you, bye, see you next week. And I went, I've not asked Aaron to plug his show. Aaron, go. But yes, thank you so much, guys. It's been a pleasure. And guys,
No
see you
problem.
on Sunday. See me next Tuesday.